Jerron K. Smith, born July 29, 1982, is an American political advisor. He served as a deputy assistant to the president and a deputy director of the Office of American Innovation for Donald Trump from April 2019 to November 2020. He had previously served in the administration as a special assistant to the president for legislative affairs from June 2018 to April 2019, and special assistant to the president for domestic policy from February to June 2018. Also served as the director of urban affairs and revitalization from the beginning of the Trump administration in January 2017. Mr. Smith is more than qualified. As you can see, guys, his resume speaks volumes. Smith grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, to his father that worked in the construction industry during the summers and as a snowplower in the winters. After coming back into his life due to drug addictions, his mom was also a hard worker, clerk at a local gas station. This didn't stop Smith. He attended St. Peter's Channel High School in Bedford, Ohio. On a football scholarship, he was recruited to play football by John Carroll University. Instead, attended Howard University, where he studied finance and economics. Later on, Smith earned a Master's of Divinity from the Howard University Divinity School. While in college, Smith worked as an intern for Congressman J.C. Watt, also for South Carolina Congressman, Senator Tim Scott, and then U.S. Representative and Vice President Mike Pence. Hey, let's see him in action. Editor, roll clip.
Hello. My name is Jerron Smith. 20 years ago, I moved to Washington, D.C. to attend Howard University. I was at a crossroads, just like America is today. I grew up on Strand Hill Road in Cleveland, a blue-collar street in a blue-collar city. When the media talks about forgotten places or working-class people who are overlooked and struggling hard, there's usually some stock photo of people who don't look like me. They never seem to show people like my mom, who worked 2 jobs as a gas station clerk, and a mom. She showed me how to persevere. They never seem to show people like my dad, who plowed snow in the winter and paved streets in the summer, who stood by me through thick and thin and taught me strong values every day. They never seem to show people like me. At first, I didn't live the values my parents taught me. I won a starting spot on the varsity football team, but I only had a 1.9 GPA. But then I broke my leg. It took a broken leg for me to really get moving in life. I prioritized schoolwork, went to Howard, and ended up working for the President of the United States.
I loved Hulk Hogan because he was like a fighter, and I loved his theme song. You know what I'm saying? I am a real American, fight for what's right for every man. I am a real American. Anyway, that was me. You know, and so I'd be fighting a battle, and then all of a sudden I started going and getting like energized and powered, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I felt like in my community, because, you know, I got persecuted a lot for going to a Catholic school. This is why I fought all the time, because people said I spoke really good English and I sound like a white boy, right? How many times you get that stuff? You sound like a white boy, right? And so I felt like I had to defend myself and win some street cred. But then I also realized that, you know, it's a way of fighting without fighting, like Bruce Lee, you know. And so always got in trouble in school. Up until my 9th grade year, you know, I got into a car accident. My 10th grade year, I got into a car accident, and I broke my leg playing football, all in the same year. You know, and I was an amazing football player. And that made me realize I needed to kind of get an education and focus. And it was around that time that I discovered conservatism, individualism. I had studied the Transcendentalists when I was in high school. And Transcendentalists believed in like individual freedom and individuality and reliance on self. But no one ever told me that was conservative values. you know. So growing up, I moved to D.C. because I was just like, you know, since I'm not on the football field, you know, I want to be empowered to kind of fight for my community. You know, and Pastor Mark Barnes said it right. You know, you guys are all fighters out there for your community. And I wanted to do the same thing when I left Cleveland, Ohio, because coming from the forgotten communities, I felt like it was no one out there actually fighting for us. You know, I used to ask my dad all the time, I was like, Dad, how come we don't have like a Martin Luther King or anything like that? Because, you know, I wasn't believing in Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson. There just was no connectivity there. And so he said, like, look, you know, all the leaders left, you know, and so you just need to go out there and get the bag, make money, and take care of yourself and don't worry about yourself. But I had deep empathy for my community because I've seen so many of the people I grew up with end up in the system, you know, either going to jail or, you know, or struggling with drugs or struggling with alcohol, just all different types of problems. And I've seen it come over all over my life, even in my family. And so when I came to Washington, I didn't really know what was going to happen in Washington. I never even visited Howard University. But I'm like, I want to go to a black school, and I want to just learn about myself and my people, right? So I go to Howard University, and it was an election year. It was Bush versus Gore. And, of course, I voted for Al Gore because I thought I was a Democrat at the time. And Al Gore, of course, came to Howard University, and he preached like a whole sermon in front of our audience. And I was like, that's Al Gore, you know, preaching? And it was kind of funny to me. I was just like, that ain't even sound right. And then somebody joked, was like, only thing he didn't do was serve some chicken after that sermon. And I was like, oh, damn. But I still voted for the guy, you know, even though I felt like he was kind of playing me a little bit by coming to the community and talking that way. And so, anyway, he ended up losing his own state. And that just like blew the tops off my head at 19. I was just like, how does this guy lose his own state? Like, you spend the whole time representing the state as a senator, and then you run for president, and you would think everybody in that state would vote for their person that's like closest to the office. But he lost that joint. And I'm like, geez. So I was like, man, you know, let me kind of learn things for myself. Because at the end of the day, I wanted to be able to fight for our people. And so I got an internship with Congressman J.C. Watts' office, and I spent the whole summer studying the Census Bureau's census tracts on poverty and, you know, how the nation flipped Republican or Democrat. And what I had learned was, regardless if it was a Republican or a Democrat in office, people weren't doing shit for my community. So at the end of the day, I felt like we needed more Republicans who were courageous enough to take on the challenge of dealing with the communities that I cared about.
Hey guys, it's Jose, your regular Joe Blow again, keeping an eye out and my ears open to talent. A man with raw talent. Did you see all that he has accomplished in such a short time? Full salute, sir. Great job. Keep up the good work. You're a patriot. Very proud of you. We have so much more to do, guys. So much more to do. He just put me on my toes, man. Keeps me on the edge. I love researching. I'll continue to bring you the unpopulars that are actually doing. There is so much work to do. There's no time to stop. So let's continue. Guys, thank you for the support and for sticking with me to the end. Stay tuned. More on the way. Stay free.
It ain't hard to tell. I excel, then prevail.